Yeah, I bought them in Holland.
Branches, large branches like these ones along here, I use those in mine. I record them down and throw stuff on it.
Yeah.
And that kind of gives you
yeah, it gives them some air and stuff like that. And they're good to have because they aerate it too, right?
Yeah.
And except they're a pain when you turn them over, but you know.
Some people want to burn them in the campfire.
Yeah. I mean, compost is work, but it's fun work. You had a question too.
Yeah, well, there's a technique. It's from Japan. It's called efficient microorganism. It's used a lot in the tropics, but I don't know if it's used also in temperate areas. And it's you take white rice and you put it in the forest, and it gets full of all the bacteria and
right.
I don't know these terms in English. Levure and all yeasts and other things that then you can mix it with molasses.
Molasses,
and,
yeah.
And use it to accelerate the
compost, yeah.
and also for pesticides and it has a lot of properties, but I don't know if it's something that is used. It's organic, of course, but I don't know if it's something used with compost.
We've never used any compost starter stuff, right? Except for manure. Like if you have some fresh manure and you add it to your compost, it will really help. The other thing is if you use ammonia in your house cleaning, like don't throw it down the drain, throw it on your compost because ammonia is nitrogen too, right? So
really?
add it to your
So
add it to your compost.
Keeps the sludge away too.
Yeah. So you know.
But you have to get the stuff that doesn't have the
commercial stuff.
Yeah, the natural stuff. Yeah. So any other questions? So anyway, I thought these are. I think this is probably like our kitchen waste from since maybe Sunday.
Oh no.
So
I've been,
so bananas and you know, and look, as you can see, we're coffee drinkers. And so that goes in there, and you know, like after you dig it up and stuff like that, and in 2 weeks, like you can't recognize any of it. It goes really fast when your compost gets hot.
and so moisture. Does everybody understand like what moisture level you're looking for?
Well, yeah, that's one of those things too, right? Because what's too wet and what's too dry, right? The worms know, you know. And after you've done it for a while, I guess you'll figure it out. Now, if I dug in this, and you know, that's not. I don't think that's too wet. You know, I don't know why it's cold, but it's not too wet. What's that?
Just a little bit of steam coming off it.
Yeah. Now our compost, when I flip it over, like especially in the summertime, every time after I flip it over, every 4 or 5 days, like the steam is coming off. It really gets
So it
hot.
should be wet, but you shouldn't be able to squeeze water out of it, right? It should be damp.
The other thing,
wet.
Yeah, and the other thing that happens if it doesn't get enough air and it's too wet, it starts to smell.
And then you get anaerobic.
Yeah, you get anaerobic composting.
Which
That's not really what you want.
Then you need some oxygen. Quick.
And you'll notice that like when we've been away for like we're not often away for more than like a week or so, but sometimes we are, and you notice it because you have to really turn your compost over.
What do you notice? What's
the smell?
Yeah, it's like a rotten
smell.
It's like a rotten smell. Like
that's what I find with those plastic ones is that I can't get in there and turn
it.
So
you get that rotten.
Smell.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't like. I'm not a fan.
And you know, using pallets for I mean most composting guides, they would say great stuff to use that, and I think they're good, especially like for the inside parts and also for the outside. But then you do have to somehow seal it off on the outside.
Have you given some thought to how to jerry rig what's existing here and modify it along lines?
I think it wouldn't be hard to do actually. Yeah, and I mean I don't know how important it is like that these are all covered. Like that might be okay, but have lids and they're always slanted a little bit this way, so the water will mostly run off that way, and then put front covers on it, and that will stop it from drying out. because I noticed the weather's going to change here after like Wednesday or so, and it's going to get sunny, and then looks like there's no rain in the forecast for like a couple of weeks, or in the long-term forecast, if you believe it anyway. But then that means that these composts, they will dry out. They'll be hard as a rock, right? Because there's big sods in it and stuff like that. So then it will also stop, right? So yeah, that's all about balancing, I guess. And nature's figured it out, right? We're not inventing anything new. Compost wants to happen. So, if there's no other questions.